It comes as no surprise that past movies have heavily influenced many of the films released now, whether that's through direct copying, or an interpretation of the same story, or simply through thematic or stylistic echoes of cinema's history. So if you're looking for older films to pair with the current releases you've been loving, or if you're looking for newer films to match the magic of your classic taste, then look no further. Here are my double feature recommendations to blend the old and the new. A personal conflict triggers tension in the community. An isolated town in Ireland. A war serves as the story's backdrop. A character is not taken seriously and treated as a punching bag. And both stories take place only 7 years apart. The Banshees of Inisherin and Ryan's daughter are practically siblings. Sure, one tells the story of a friendship gone rotten, while the other is an epic drama of an affair and the fight for freedom. But nonetheless, they mirror each other in sentiment and in characters. Despite Banshees being made 52 years later, both films are executed at the same level of quality. Does this go to show the very ahead of its time element in David Lean's filmmaking, or the accuracy in Martin McDonagh's nostalgic depiction? Well, give both a watch and let me know your thoughts. Anora and Knights of Cabiria are kindred spirits. They both tell the heartbreaking story of two prostitutes looking for love to take them away from their lives, and eventually end in the same melancholic epiphany. Though Anora is a hard-headed, tough New Yorker, and Maria is a sweet, hopeful, cheery girl, the two long for the same thing, and ultimately deal with the same pain. Both films deal with the cruelty of men who revolve around the industry they work in, and the hope and mistreatment of the young women within it. But most importantly, they explore these two protagonists intimately and vulnerably, and how the story is more about them than what they really long for. And in a more painfully obvious, and you've probably already heard this comparison, the Holdovers and Dead Poets Society. What is there to say that hasn't been said before? A teacher gains the trust and offers wisdom, comfort, and more importantly, acts as a father figure to a teenager who desperately needs a kind parental figure in their life. The two are practically the same, even in mood, tone, and look. The Dead Poets fixates more on the brotherhood and the bond formed through literature. The sentiment remains very much intact. Two older men go about their day, encountering strange people and unfamiliar situations that force them to confront their past and regrets, ultimately leading them to find peace and closure. Perfect days and wild strawberries are the guideposts to finding gratitude in your life, regardless of how it panned out. Though in Bergman's film, Dr. Isaac actively searches for meaning and redemption, while in Wonders, Hirayama seems to have already found these things. The two characters acquire a new perspective by the end of the film, a perspective that mirrors both the film's message and themes of peace. Though narratively different, the themes of these two films mirror each other perfectly. The Substance and Sunset Boulevard. From the ageist pressure in the entertainment industry to the agenda-pushing propaganda of the perfect young woman, both films tackle the same societal issue. And it makes you wonder, how does a film made 75 years ago still carry its relatable message to today's progressive society? I guess we haven't evolved as much as we thought. Both protagonists want the close-up they've been told all their careers is where their worth lies. Though both films have drastically different stories, the obsession forced on women to be perfect, young, and relevant remains. And even these women, who are simply a result of the industry's unrealistic expectations, are painted as a portrait of mania and lunacy, a portrayal that stays consistent in both films. Outside the more obvious comparison in which one directly mimics the other. Licorice Pizza and American Graffiti are quite the duo. Both stories undergo the complicated feelings that arise with maturity and the spontaneity of youth. Though PTA's work fixates on the romance between Gary and Alana, it still very much retains American Graffiti's hangout style narrative, going through absurd situations and how these seemingly irrelevant plot points are really the foundation of the story, or the medium to translate/depict that romance. Simply put, these two films are more about the vibes and the tone of the film. It fixates more on capturing what it was like to be these particular kids in this specific time, essentially being in their shoes for a day. Two mothers manipulated, neglected, and used. Mother and Rosemary's Baby tell similar stories in the same similar, manic, uncomfortable, and pure anxiety-inducing way. Though one is a satanic ritual motivated by a cult, while another is a symbolic story for human self-destructive nature with ego and greed, they essentially cover the same story. Both films engulf you in a world of paranoia and unease, only to catapult you straight into the story's core message, forcing you to swallow one hell of a pill and offering you no catharsis or peace during, before, or after it. And in a cozy depiction of the supernatural comes The Love Witch and Bell, Book and Candle, where both tell the story of a witch using their supernatural prowess to make men fall in love with her, and then tragically has to deal with the consequences of a magic-enforced romance. Both films share the same romantic comedy, hyper-melodramatic, and stylized feel. They retain the same sort of colorful, dreamy, wistful women to lead their story, depicting witches and the world they inhabit as a bright romantic one, rather than the usual cult-like spooky energy we often associate with them. The Love Witch does a somewhat effective job in incorporating that 50s to 60s feel into the modern world and in the contemporary interpretation of the story. So, though made years apart, they still feel cut from the same cloth. When it comes to the existentialist crisis, many films across cinema explore this topic, but there are two films that not only approach the concept through the same sort of character, but also express it in the same unconventional way. Bardo and 8½ are two sides of the same coin. Both films unravel a man's creative career and the things that block their way to continuing it. In 8½, a filmmaker's creative block forces him to confront all his regrets and wrongs as he approaches a midlife crisis. In Bardo, a journalist is pushed into extreme mental turmoil. Both films explore these two moments in time surrealistically. They are depicted in symbolic scenes, whether that's floating across the city or being in a subway ankle-deep in water. They reflect each character's inner turmoil through images and situations that better describe things than any words. And more importantly, both films are rumored to be autobiographical accounts of the filmmaker's own troubles and concerns, which only adds a unique personal touch. Lastly, Black Swan and the Red Shoes, the pursuit of perfection. Two ballerinas explore just how far they are willing to go to perfect their performance, and in what, or more accurately, who in their life interrupts them from said goal. From both films' tense atmosphere to the naivety that turns to crazed obsession in their protagonists, the two are sister films. Though the obsessed artist is an overdone trope in recent years, one could argue that The Red Shoes was the seed of it all, and Black Swan is the rare case in which it plays perfect homage. With every story already being told, it's hard not to find glimpses of older films all over modern cinema. So what is your favorite old and new double feature?